Hello, my name's Sol, and I want to ask you a question tonight. Does anyone else aggressively self-loathe in the shower? Get clean and beat yourself up. Those are the two objectives. I'm happy if I've ticked those off. But the ratio between lathering and self-loathing does shift depending on how many interactions I've had that week. But I watched an Instagram video the other week, and it said anxious people like long showers. And that's because the warm, continuous water flow, the confined space, and the privacy. And I thought, yeah, it's a steep drop-off, because they're saying it makes them feel like they're in the womb, which was the last time they didn't feel anxious. And it is a steep drop-off, because you get violently evicted, and now suddenly you're naked, crying, and unemployed. It's the start of an anxiety lifetime. But for me, the shower's the opposite. It spikes my cortisol levels. I'll be there innocently scrubbing my piss, and suddenly I'll remember that 13 years ago in a restaurant, a waiter put down my food and said, "Enjoy your meal." And I said, "Thanks, you too." So you just got to scrub and forget. Scrub until it all just goes away. But I had another one just the other day. I was doing my face wash routine, because I'm in my 30s now and I'm up my shower game. But I was applying this face wash. And suddenly I remembered again, another pang, another memory. And this time it was of getting my first car as a teenager. And it was a Daewoo Matiz. And I'm thinking of you guys in the audience, if you're lucky enough to not know Daewoo Matiz, the most least cool car that ever came into production. So Daewoo made their final car in 2007 and went bust. Couldn't even blame it on the credit crunch. They then focused on kitchen appliances like microwaves and air fryers. And I wasn't surprised, because my Daewoo Matiz was 0.68 litres. And for anyone that doesn't know, that's the equivalent revolving power of 2 mid-sized dishwashers. So it was an easy transition for the company. But I remember one journey in that car, driving back from college, and driving towards college. And I had my friend in the passenger seat, I had 2 ladies in the back, so I was driving to impress, and I had 15 minutes to get to my maths lesson. I was doing binomial distributions. It was a juicy topic. Didn't want to miss that one. But I had a problem. I was doing 23 in a 30 because I had a trundling transit van in front of me. And you could tell it was a sole trader. It had all the branding on it. It said Bob's Paints. Call Bob for the best paint job in town. And my 17-year-old mind had a brilliant idea. 2 birds in one stone. Get me to maths on time and impress the ladies in the back. So I said to my phone, I said to my friend, get on the phone, type in Bob's number. I don't want a paint job, I want it to speed up. And I was like, put it on the dash and get that on loudspeaker, because you're going to want to hear the genius that's about to come out of my mouth. And you know those moments in life where you say all the right things and you get the perfect weight between that horseplay and that impish behaviour and everyone laughs along? Yeah, that wasn't one of these moments. Because the second Bob answered that call, all that confidence, all that bravado dropped out, and I was left with, hello, sorry, is that Bob? Yeah, I'm just driving behind you in the Daewoo Matiz, and I'm really kind of nervous about getting to my lesson on time, so if you just speed up, that'd be lovely. And as I'm doing this, my friend is aggressively tapping me on the shoulder. What I haven't realised is the lights have turned red, Bob's hung up, and his van and my car are coming to a stationary position. And I remember this next point because I narrated it quietly to myself in disbelief. Oh, Bob's opened the door. Oh, Bob has actually got out of his van. Oh, he's walking towards the passenger side of my car. And I become very aware that the Daewoo Matiz was not blessed with central locking, and my friend wasn't quick with his hands. So before I knew it, Bob had his hand on the handle of my car door, and the airlock was broken. He was in. He then put his hand out, he throttled my friend, and said, "Tell me to fucking speed up now." Now, I don't know whether it was life imitating art, but me and my friend took our cue to play the in-betweeners and said sorry several times in several higher octaves. Sorry Bob, sorry. And we were so pathetic that Bob actually closed the car door, got back in his van, and drove on his merry way. You like that, girls? Find that funny? Yeah, they never got in my car again. So just moving on, has anyone been to therapy? An easier way of asking that question, is anyone in here an aging millennial? Honestly, every single one of my 30-something-year-old friends is on their therapy subscriptions. It comes out on their bank statements, right next to their avocados, their flat whites, and their PCP subscriptions for their Audi A3s that drive them to the therapy session. I call mine my £400 per month mobile crying unit. But we are right on the edge of a psychological breakthrough, just about figuring it out. But the therapy sessions, you have to feel sorry for the millennial generation, because we're a generation brought up on senseless name calling. Weirdos, freaks, losers, dick cheese, dick splash, wank sponge. I remember one kid in year 11 calling another kid in year 7 a pedo for wearing shorts. But the world's moved on. The world's moved on. That same kid goes to his therapy session once a week because he watched an Instagram video telling him to go to therapy session once a week. But he doesn't talk about any of the name calling, any of those transgressions from the schoolyard. What's he banging on about? He's banging on about the fact he does a white collar 9-to-5 corporate desk job and he just doesn't know how it happened. He's confused about how he got here. So I didn't know this, right? This was news to me in my therapy session, but it turns out if you take all the subjects that are boring in school to impress your mum, and then you do a 3-year business studies degree, and then after that you mix that in with a 2 years postgrad in accountancy, and then you pepper that with 4 years of doing grueling overtime to get more horrible responsibility at work, and this might surprise you, turns out you don't become a world-travelling artist or a jobbing musician or a novelist. You end up expressing your creativity through neatly colour-coding Excel spreadsheets. Green for completed, yellow for outstanding, red for fucked. I'm on annual leave next week, someone else can deal with it. But my therapist, he was a kind man, and he was more of an optimist than me. So he's seen this iceberg, this lifetime of behaviour, this pattern, and he was like, I don't want to overwhelm the kid, this millennial's opened up now, so I'm giving him a small little tidbit, a micro commitment to break the lifetime of these patterns. And he said, Sol, have you ever thought about telling a friend how you feel? And I go, yeah, absolutely fucking not. They'll think I'm a wank dick cheese with But I'm at the grand age of 34 now. And I think it's probably safe to say that my personality has solidified. I'm pretty sure I've gone through puberty. Your mind plays tricks. I now have recurring nightmares that my hairline will go in the same direction as my dad's, and the groaning sound I make when I get out of a small compact hatchback car is now indistinguishable from my orgasms. But I think at 34, you're not going to do anything wild, are you? Come on, I'm not going to get a tattoo. I'm not going to move to Australasia. I'm not going abroad. I'm not going above medium spice at Nando's. Things are set now. They're in place. They're in place. But it wasn't always like this. Back when I was younger, I had a different set of tastes. I used to laugh a bit too hard at Seth Rogen films. I used to wish that Skins was a biopic of my life. I used to think that Tesco's meal deal was the equivalent of a fully fledged dinner. In simpler terms, I was a stoner. The warning signs were there. And you have to move different as a stoner. You've got to slip around parks and woods looking red-eyed and sheepish, looking like stock footage for a low-income area. And you've got to have a system. You've got to be topping up with Lynx Africa every 30 to 40 minutes, inside and outside of the hoodie that your mum's washed and ironed for you. Because you've got to keep this baby secret. And any ex-professional stoner knows that the key to getting away with it is storing somewhere where you can actually conceal the smell. Now, winding the clock back, I remember when my mum bought me a copy of Harry Potter's Philosopher's Stone on Huddersfield High Street in W.H. Smith's. And when she bought it, Chris Rankin was there promoting it. For anyone that doesn't know this Z-list celebrity, it was actually Percy Weasley in the film, and he had 6 minutes screen time, and he signed my copy. A few years later, I thought I'd been done with that book, but I thought perfect storage. And I carved out a middle section, like I was in some stoner version of Shawshank Redemption. And I put my stash inside that book, and I thought, we're not done yet. So I went downstairs, and I got a kitchen sandwich Ziploc bag, put it in, and popped it back on my shelf. And I remember a couple of weeks later, my mum coming into the living room. She said, I've just been dusting your bookshelf, and I've noticed the Philosopher's Stone's hermetically sealed. What's going on? And I said, well, Mum, it was signed by Chris Rankin, he did have 6 minutes screen time, so it's really valuable to me personally, so I'd like to keep it in mint condition and away from the elements, that's why it's in the Ziploc bag. And a look of worry came across her face, and it wasn't that she thought a second-born son was getting into trouble, it's that she thought I might be a virgin forever. Thank you, you've been lovely.